Sports is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And Comerica Bank and the Tigers are ready for the Texas Rangers here in Texas on a Monday night on Bally Sports with Trevor Thompson and Craig Monroe. I'm Matt Shepard. Welcome, everybody. Glad you're part of this beginning sports week where the Tigers will play 7 games in as many days. 4 here in Texas and then 3 in Colorado. For Detroit, they will try and even this season series with Texas after the Rangers took 2 out of 3 at Comerica Park earlier this year. Here's the Tigers batting order. It's brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Matt Vierling leads things off. Boy, has he been red hot or what? 400 in his last 11 games. Andy Ibanez bats third. He has 8 hits in his last 7 games. And Miguel Cabrera bats 7th. A 12-game on-base streak for Miguel Cabrera. And tonight in the series opener, they open up against Andrew Heaney, the lefty for Texas.
Well, he really likes to go to that 4-seam fastball at the top of the strike zone. He'll go to that pitch quite often, and then he'll change your eye level. He'll go to the changeup at the bottom of the strike zone and look for him to throw that slider down and into the right-handed hitters. He's one of the few lefties that lives on the inside part of the plate against right-handed batters.
3rd career start against Detroit, and his first pitch on a Monday night is in for strike 1. Texas playing Vierling straight away, and he fouls it back to make it 0-2.
I think the keys for the Tigers against Heaney today is they're going to have to really give him that inside part of the plate, because when he comes in there, it's just for effect. He wants to get you out away.
Vierling on base 3 times in the series wrap-up against Minnesota yesterday. This one's popped up. Lowe has room and makes the play. Here's the Texas defense behind Heaney. Ezekiel Duran in left, Leody Taveras in center, Adolis Garcia in right. He's got 10 outfield assists already. Young and Seager on the left side. Simeon just 2 errors in his last 68 games, and Lowe on the right side with Jonah Heim doing the catching. Spencer Torkelson stands in, the number 2 hitter for Detroit. He's been in that role for a bit now, getting used to it, but hoping the numbers increase. 1-1 to Torkelson.
Torkelson's got himself in a little bit of a slump. He's at 2 for 25. I think the biggest issue that he's having right now is that teams are starting to use that outside part of the plate, and he's been in pull mode. Like to see him get back to staying on that baseball and driving that ball to right center, especially fastballs. That'll put him in a position to be able to handle all speed.
He did that only once yesterday. It was a deep fly ball to right center field. But everything else, at least in his first couple of at-bats, were pulled to the left fielder. Here's the 3-1 to him, and it's fouled away.
Well, I just think because of the adjustments that he's made, he's gotten up on the dish, so he's made that outside pitch a lot closer to himself, which is almost more like a middle pitch for him. And he's trying to get the bat head out in front, which was an issue last year for him. It hasn't been the issue this year. So let's just see if he can get back to staying on the baseball.
Gets rung up on the inside corner and didn't like it.
And here's the gripe that Spencer Torkelson has right here. That I know that Heaney's going to pound that inside part of the plate, but you want to trust your eyes of the hitter, and that ball's way in off the plate.
Batting in the 3 hole is Andy Ibanez, a half-hearted swing at a slider at 84. It's 0-1. Heaney doing a good job of getting in front of Tigers hitters early.
Yeah, this is when he's at his best here because he's got a slider that he can put you away with. Talked about the high fastball. He'll probably go there here.
Strikes out a pair and a quick first for Andrew Heaney. Matthew Boyd is hoping for the same. He goes to slab for Detroit next. First in game one of this 4-game series. Here's the Rangers batting order. It's presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Marcus Semien leads off. Top 6 in the American League in runs and hits and total bases and RBIs. Josh Young, one of the best rookies in all of baseball, and Nathaniel Lowe is batting 5th. 43 walks is 3rd most in the major leagues. You see Corey Seager there, red hot over the last 9, but has cooled off slightly. Semien swings and misses at Matthew Boyd's first offering, a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 0-1. Rips one deep left field, and that ball is out of here. A leadoff homer for Marcus Semien, number 11 on the year.
Well, coming into this contest, guys, I told you that Matthew Boyd, the biggest issue that he's had against the Texas Rangers, he's given up the long ball. Matter of fact, he's given up 16 home runs in his career against the Texas Rangers. And that was Semien there. Very aggressive. First pitch, that ball there is center cut. And that ball just doesn't make it to the catcher's mitt because Semien catches it, beats it to the spot, and he drills that ball out to left field.
Left his bat at 104 miles an hour. 1-0 Texas.
I mean, that's the dangerous part about this lineup. Yeah. It's that 1-9. With one swing of the bat, the game just changes.
1-2 to Corey Seager. Texas is 8th in all of baseball in home runs. They have got pop from the top to the bottom of their order. And that is no joke. The number 9 hitter in this Texas order has 8 bombs. Seager swings through it. Boyd bounces back, gets Corey Seager on strikes, 1 away.
Well, here's what you're going to see from Matthew Boyd. You're going to see Matthew Boyd work the top of that strike zone with a 4-seamer. He drops down a little bit on that slider. He'll throw that to the left-handers. That changeup has to be a plus pitch for him today against this very aggressive Ranger hitting team. You got to get that ball down and let it fade down and away so you can get some weak contact.
There's Josh Young, the good-looking rookie out of Texas Tech. He is 5th among rookies in average. The 15 homers rank 2nd, and the RBIs are 1st. It's 0-2 to him. You and I were really impressed with him when he came through Comerica Park in that 3-game series. We batted 500 for Bruce Bochy.
Well, I just like that he's got this selective, aggressive approach where he knows the pitches that he can handle. He knows the pitches that he does damage on, and he attacks them and such.
That's grounded foul.
Boyd's got an opportunity here by winning the race to 2 strikes to put Young away with that high fastball.
Missed low, it's 1-2. Little high, and it's even.
Yeah, that's the patience there of this young rookie, Josh Young. Again, understanding the strike zone.
Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Boyd, 2 away. Here's the defense behind Boyd. It's brought to you by Marygrove Awnings. Andy Ibanez is in right field, his 4th start there. Zach Short is at second base. It's his 4th start in the last 6 games, and Jake Rogers is doing the catching. Another dangerous hitter now stands in, Adolis Garcia. 60 runs batted in for Garcia. Only Shohei Ohtani has more.
Yeah. More of a pull hitter, likes that ball on the inside part of the plate.
A little out of Jake Rogers' reach, 2-0.
Garcia gets himself into trouble when he starts to expand the strike zone, like most hitters. Be important for Boyd to stay out of the middle of the plate against him. He does have 17 home runs.
Boyd might have felt something.
Yeah, it looks like the trainer and A.J. Hinch, the manager's coming out. See if we can see exactly what happened to Boyd here on this pitch. And you can see a little, like he grabbed that. I don't want to speculate here, but it looks like somewhere around the hip area.
Ryan Eubanks is the Tigers trainer. That's who's talking to Matthew Boyd. He's got the sweatshirt there, no cap. A.J. Hinch to his right. Tigers have enough starting pitching that is on the IL. Thank you very much.
Yes, and this bullpen has done a lot of heavy lifting, racking up a lot of innings. You can see the grimace there on Boyd's face there. Something just don't seem right.
And it's bad enough for him to be done. Well, Matthew Boyd had a very short stint, so 6 pitches, touched for a home run on the second pitch he threw, and now the Tigers bullpen will have a bullpen day unexpectedly. Will Vest looks like he's going to get the call first. He'll have all the time he needs to warm up. Matthew Boyd's night is done. It's about adjustments, and the Tigers will have to adjust nearly immediately here in the first game of this series against the Rangers. Wallside Windows brings you a pitching change unexpectedly. After 15 pitches, Matthew Boyd's night is over. Will Vest is in. Will Vest has been in a similar situation where he's been a starter or an opener, if you will, for the Tigers, and I suppose that's kind of the mindset he has to have filling in for Matthew Boyd now, who left after grimacing a little bit after a pitch.
Yeah, it just didn't look good what we saw from Matthew Boyd. It's unfortunate because I feel like the Tigers, from an injury standpoint, it just seems to keep biting us. But the fact that Will Vest understands his position that he's been put in, when that gate opens, he's ready to come in, and we've seen him be effective and efficient. He attacks the strike zone. He'll have to do that against this Ranger team. Going to try to keep them in the ballpark. Simeon got the Rangers on the board with 1 swing of the bat in the first inning. So it's just been a trying season for the Tigers when you start thinking about the injuries that they've had to deal with.
Yeah, remember, Michael Lorenzen was lost at the beginning of the season. Detroit currently without Tarek Skubal, without Eduardo Rodriguez. Matt Manning, we're hoping, is coming back very soon. We'll have news on that from Trevor Thompson a little bit later on. Casey Mize is out for the year. Alex Faedo has been injured as well. This is why they say you can never have enough pitches.
Right, that's exactly why they said, Shep. And you know what? The Tigers have been fortunate in that department to have guys that they can put in that can at least give this team a chance to win. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about giving the Tigers a chance to win. And this starting staff, and along with the bullpen, has been pretty solid all season long.
No question about it. But listen, the last couple of games, the Tigers bullpen has been taxed. And this is why you're needing some of these starters to go a little bit longer in games. I get that the new edict in baseball is you get to your bullpen after 5 or 6 innings. But at some point, Simo, you're going to go back to old school philosophy on occasion and say, we've got to get some length out of our starter.
Well, that's exactly, I believe, the place that the Tigers are in right now. You have to start to get some length out of these guys, especially going down the stretch. You're going to need your bullpen at full strength, and they cannot be overworked here earlier in the season. We're not even at the All-Star break yet. And so it's going to be important for these starters to go deeper.
Well, the good news is the Tigers bullpen has been I would say, their strong suit.
I would agree.
So far this season. It's a team that has relied a lot on its bullpen. Here's our Xfinity 10 high-speed pitch. This is how productive it has been. Remember, this was the strength of the Tigers a year ago. So many people thought, boy, you lose 3 familiar names, then what do? These guys have picked up right where last season let off, and the numbers are impressive in the top 5 in the league. So Will Vest into this ball game and ready to face Adolis Garcia with a 2-0 count on him. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. And you can't help but wonder, Simo, there's got to be an adjustment for Texas. They've been preparing for Matthew Boyd, a lefty. Now they're getting Will Vest, a righty.
Well, this is going to be a challenge for this Ranger lineup because it was put together thinking that Matthew Boyd was going to give the Tigers hopefully 5+ innings.
Yeah.
And now the hitters for the Rangers have to change their whole mindset, their whole approach, and what they were trying to do in the batter's box against Boyd to try to figure out Will Vest.
Vest strikes out Garcia on 3 pitches. Tigers are down a run after 1 on Bally Sports.
Boyd leave early tonight, but we're all happy to see Matt Manning returning to the mound for the Tigers tomorrow. 8 2/3 scoreless innings and 3 rehab starts in Toledo. He's ready to go. How long he goes will depend on how effective he is tomorrow. That's what A.J. Hinch told us earlier today, but the news is certainly good that Matt Manning is ready to return to the rotation, Matt.
That's a great sign for Tigers fans. Of course, as A.J. Hinch had mentioned, he's used his bullpen a lot. That helped determine it. He's in condition to do enough, but he also understands Texas a really big challenge for him and his entire pitching staff. Thanks, Trevor. We look forward to more. That's really important for this team. If not for the physical aspect, the psyche a little bit for this team to get one of their best pitchers back.
No, I agree, Shevin, and I think it's going to be important for Matthew Boyd to not really put too much pressure on himself coming back. And he's a much needed help from the pitching or from a starting rotation standpoint. And he's one of those guys that we've been waiting to see him emerge into a top of the rotation kind of talent. Hopefully tomorrow against the Texas Rangers, which will be a tall task, he'll be up for the challenge.
I know he's been itching. You've talked to him. I've talked to him. He's been dying to get back on the mound.
And also, he's been working on a lot of things, working on reshaping his slider, his curveball, tinkering with a 2-seam grip, increasing more movement on that 2-seam. So excited for Matt Manning.
Fastball has ticked up a little bit too.
Yes, it has. About 97, 98.
Payoff to Haas, and it's fouled away. If you just joined us, Marcus Semien took Matthew Boyd's second pitch of the night, hammered it for a home run. Boyd was injured 2 batters later. Will Vest came in and struck out Adolis Garcia on 3 pitches. It's 1-0 Texas. Haas with a drive, left field. That's a bullet, and that ball is over the head of the left fielder Duran. Haas into second base. He might want more. Stutter stepped his way, hesitated for a moment, but he'll cruise into third. He's got himself a 1-out triple here in the second.
Eric Haas absolute crushed his ball, and you can see the outfielder Duran there. He didn't quite get back far enough. He didn't know where he was at the wall, but take a look at Eric Haas here, recognizing that Duran had no chance of getting to that ball, and he just rolls into third base for a triple.
That ball left his bat at 105 miles an hour and puts the Tigers in a good spot to try and tie it with Jonathan Schoop. Heavy cut and a miss.
That ball off the bat of Eric Haas was absolutely crushed. Duran had no chance of catching that baseball.
First triple of the year for Haas. The infield moved in for Texas. That's away, and it's 1-1. You see in the Bally bar in your lower right-hand corner, Tigers offense has struggled in this situation all year long. Texas is #1 with runners in scoring position. The Tigers near dead last.
And this is where the Tigers have to be better.
Schoop to left field on a line. That should get the job done. Haas tags. Jonathan Schoop, sacrifice fly ties it up at 1 apiece.
Well, this is something that the Tigers continue to work on, situational hitting. It's a sac fly, guys, but this is much-needed swing here from Jonathan Schoop with the runner at third base, less than 2 outs. What you're trying to do is hit the ball to the outfield deep enough to allow that run to score. That is a really good team at bat from Jonathan Schoop.
Happy for him. Happy that the Tigers are able to answer back. And here's Miguel Cabrera with 2 away. Cabrera ahead in the count 2-0.
Like this matchup here for Miguel Cabrera. Again, Haney's not going to overpower Miggy. 92 to 93 with his fastball. Good hitters count here.
3-0.
You might see Miggy take a chance here on a 3-0 count. He might be swinging on the fastball inside.
Didn't get a chance. A 2-out walk for Cabrera. He's aboard for Jake Rogers. One and one now to Rogers.
Well, this is where the Tigers are going to have to continue to be patient. Make Heaney work.
That's inside. It's 2-1 to Jake Rogers. Swung on and missed. Couldn't find the 93-mile-an-hour four-seamer.
Well, that ball's at the top of the strike zone. It's a tough pitch to get to, even at 93. That's why Heaney lives up there. He might double up on that pitch right here.
Foul back. You are a wise man. He did.
Well, just watching a lot of his outings, I've been watching him really work north and south of the zone. And so it just seems like he loves that elevated fastball. And then he likes to go to that slider down and in.
Rogers strikes out, but it's a good bounce back inning for the Tigers. Eric Haas's first triple, and then Jonathan Schoop with a sacrifice fly to knot it up. The Tigers pitching these 4 games against Texas, and how good and how balanced and how powerful they really are.
Well, again, they're just not a power hitting team. You look at the batting average, they're first. I mean, runners in scoring position is really impressive, but what impresses me the most is that bottom part right there. They're first with 2 outs. 2-out runs means that they just continue to apply pressure.
Nathaniel Lowe leads things off, and then it'll be Jonah Heim and Mitch Garver here in the Texas second.
It surprises me, though, that they don't have a lot of swing and miss. You know, most teams that hit the ball out of the ballpark, there's a ton of swing and miss. One team that comes to mind right away is the Minnesota Twins.
Right.
But this Ranger team, foul line to foul line, up and down their lineup, just being able to spray the ball makes it a challenge.
Opposite way for Lowe. A sliding stop in left field by Haas. Lowe hustling into second. He's got a pop-up slide leadoff double.
And that's exactly what I mean right here. That both right-handers and left-handers in this Rangers lineup have the ability to go the opposite way. Look at that little two-seam fastball running away from Lowe there. Stays on it, let it get deep, drives it the opposite way. Eric Haas has to slide to keep it in front of him. And Lowe gets an easy double.
In scoring position for Jonah Heim. What a season this kid has had.
Yeah, getting it done on both sides of the ball, shutting down the running game with his arm, and just putting together some solid at-bats.
Speaking of solid at-bats, Lowe 16 opposite field extra base hits now with that double down the left field line. Most in all of baseball.
Yeah, really impressed with his approach. We know he's got big power to the pull side, but he has that cannon ability to stay on the ball and hit it the opposite way with some authority.
He's a pretty darn good 5-hole hitter, Nathaniel Lowe. Although he's been hitting 3, and Bruce Bochy kind of splitting him and Corey Seager up a little bit instead of going lefty-lefty. Heim went too far, and down he goes.
Yeah, Heim just didn't like the fact that he was chasing. Again, this Ranger team, they've shown some solid patience. But look at the shape of that two-seam fastball there. Located well, top quadrant of the strike zone, and he gets to swing and miss.
Vest against Mitch Garver now. The former Twin takes one high. Didn't see Garver at Comerica Park earlier this year because of an injury. But the Tigers have seen him plenty over his seasons. On the corner to make it 1-1.
I feel like Will Vest has just gotten better.
I agree.
And since he's got the call up from AAA this season, his command has been on point. It's been very effective and efficient in the strike zone.
Yeah, he's been one of the more reliable bullpen arms for the Tigers this year.
Well, a lot of times you see guys that come out of the bullpen, they're kind of nibbling a little bit. They're trying to work the edges. I just like that he attacks the strike zone. He tries to get to 2 strikes so he can put you away. And he's got a couple pitches that he does it. He's got a wicked slider. And that fastball at 94, 95, especially located well, he's getting tons of outs.
Garver is a little late on that 95-mile-an-hour heater. He strikes out. Back-to-back punch-outs here in the second for Will Vest.
I mean, Will Vest gets the call. He comes in, guys, and all he's doing is just painting. 95 on the outside black there. And you can see it's a 4-seamer, stays true. And he just throws that ball right by Garver.
Now he faces Ezekiel Duran. Fouls it back. Boy, I know it gets old for a lot of people to hear, but pitching from a leverage standpoint has been preached as part of the gospel from Chris Fetter and A.J. Hinch for the last 3 years. And Will Vest might be a perfect example of just why it's so important.
I mean, we heard it today from A.J. Hinch as Will Vest. All of a sudden, Will Vest, he landed wrong.
Another health visit from the Tigers manager. Goodness.
You can see here as he landed awkwardly. And the way he's gingerly walking around in that replay there could possibly be a hamstring. And you can see him there wincing and walking very gingerly. That right leg. It's the last thing that the Tigers need right now.
Matthew Boyd started, lasted 15 pitches before he was removed with an injury. Will Vest came in, and all he's done is strike out 3 of the 4 batters he's faced, but now he's struggling a little bit. Trying to power through it, perhaps. We'll see. He's going to get some throws here. He's wincing again. I'm going to take him out too. My goodness. Matthew Boyd only got a couple outs in the first before he was removed. Will Vest gets a couple outs here in the second. Now he's been removed as well. And the Tigers bullpen, already taxed over the last couple of days, will be asked to come in and do more here on a Monday night in Game 1 against one of the best offensive teams in baseball. Are threatening to break that tie in the bottom of the second. Another injured Tigers pitcher here in the second inning. Matthew Boyd in the first, Will Vest in the second, and that forces another wall-side windows pitching change and forces A.J. Hinch to go get Mason Englert, who will get as much time as he needs to warm up, just like Will Vest was allowed in the first when replacing an injured Matthew Boyd. This is getting old.
Yes, it is.
It is a MASH unit. These are the men who have been injured for the Tigers right now. Most of them are pitchers, save Riley Green, save Akil Baddoo. But boy, oh boy, this is frustrating. And how do you explain it? I don't even know how you explain something like this. We just know that that list is now growing larger because of what's taken place here today.
Well, listen, I get it, Shep, and you're going to hear pundits around the game say, well, it's part of the game. Well, yeah, it is part of the game. But this is starting to be ridiculous where you're seeing your producers, your guys that are supposed to be impact pitchers and players on the IL. Now, the Tigers will have to call guys up. This is a long road trip, by the way. A long road trip and a lot of innings that need to be had here. So they may have to make some more moves after they've already started to make some moves to get Matt Manning back here to hopefully start tomorrow. So it's a big challenge for the Tigers organization right now. But again, they have pitching depth. They have guys that hopefully can come up and again, give this team a chance to continue to win baseball games.
It's not easy. The starter, Matthew Boyd, was after a second pitch home run allowed to Marcus Semien, then settled in, struck out back-to-back hitters, and then after this, you see this is 2 pitches in. Semien drills one, his 11th home run of the season, then the 2 strikeouts, and then to Adolis Garcia, just lost control of that pitch. And you could see the wincing right there. Something wasn't right. So they take him out. In comes Will Vest. And Will Vest does a nice job. A strikeout. And then into the second inning, he gives up the leadoff double, but back-to-back strikeouts before he leaves with an injury. And at some point, A.J. Hinch and the rest of his staff have to be thinking, we're snake bit. Because remember, this was the issue a year ago. With a lot of injuries to the starting staff.
Well, for Matthew Boyd, being a leader of this starting rotation, this is a big blow because he's a guy that hopefully it's minor because he has to be around these guys. He needs to be a part of their development. And then you start thinking about Will Vest. Here's a pitcher coming out of the pen, coming into his own, really attacking the zone, pitch shape, slider, been effective, winning the race to 2 strikes as A.J. Hinch continues to preach to this bullpen and the starters. These are 2 big blows because both of these guys are intricate parts of the starting rotation and the bullpen.
Yeah, remember Will Vest started the year in Toledo, earned his call-up, has been really good since. Now, we've told you about the disappointing news with the injury to Matthew Boyd and Will Vest, but there is a silver lining. And with more on that, Trevor Thompson joins us. Trev?
Yeah, guys, it's not going to help for this road trip, which you pointed out is a long one. Still 6 more games to go after tonight. But tomorrow, Alex Faeda will make a rehab start in Double-A Erie as he tries to work his way back to the big leagues. And then Wednesday night, Tarek Skubal will throw in Triple-A Toledo as he rehabs there as he tries to make his way back to the bigs. And then Thursday, it'll be Eduardo Rodriguez's turn in Toledo as he makes a rehab start as well as he tries to get back after injuring that finger. So those 3 guys are going to get rehab starts this week. Won't help for the rest of this trip, but perhaps help is on the horizon a little ways down the road, and let's hope it's sooner than later, guys.
Thank you, my friend, for making me feel just a little bit better. And hopefully Tigers fans as well. You are a ray of positivity.
Yes, you are.
My good man. Ezekiel Duran swings and misses at Mason Englert's first offering to make it 1-2. It was a leadoff double from Nathaniel Lowe. And then Will Vest struck out Heim and Garver. And now Englert has Duran where he wants him. Missed Lowe, it's 2-2.
And English just seems like he's starting to turn the corner. Went through a little tough period to where he didn't have the velocity that he's had in the past. Slow in 92, 93. The velocity was down at 88. All of a sudden, he's got that velocity back up to around 90, 91. Changeup has been more effective, and the slider as well.
Simo, this has turned into what A.J. Hinch was hoping to avoid, a bullpen day.
Well, he definitely needed Matthew Boyd to go deep into the ball game.
That didn't happen.
Nope, but the baseball gods had something to say about it.
Englert strikes out Duran. The Tigers staff, Vest and then Englert, strands a leadoff double and guts their way through the second to keep it tied. Two of the guys with the most elevated strikeouts by a lefty started this game here tonight. Andrew Heaney for Texas, second on that list. Matthew Boyd, fifth. Boyd is out after 3 hitters and a run allowed. Heaney remains in there to start the third.
And that elevated fastball is just such an effective pitch for both righties and lefties. More for a left-hander, because for a right-handed hitter, that ball's going to have great arm side run to it, meaning not only is it elevated, it's going to run away from me as a hitter. It's a tough pitch to cover. In a perfect world, you'd love to be able to take that pitch.
Yeah.
But when it's coming in at 90 to 92, you feel like it's below average hitting speed.
It's very inviting,
It's
isn't it?
enticing, and you think you can get to it. And we continue to see guys swing and miss it.
It's 2-2 to Zach Short, the number 9 hitter. Fouled away. By the way, on that list, you also noted Mackenzie Gore of Washington. You saw what he did to his old team, the San Diego Padres, the other day.
It's absolutely dominated.
Padres in all kinds of trouble. Short fouls another one away.
Got to be one of the biggest surprises in all of baseball.
Oh, I agree.
That star-studded lineup with all those great players, and they just haven't been able to put it together.
Did you see Andrew Bogart's comments?
Oh,
or Xander Bogaerts, rather?
Yes.
Yeah, it was something else. Pretty poignant. 3-2 to Zach Short, basically telling anybody who would listen, look, either we're trying to do too much, but we're just not getting the job done.
Well, you like the honesty.
Yeah. Short with a drive. Left field. Tracked down by Duran. Hey, every Tuesday is a 3-on-3 value game. Tickets start at $19, plus get $3 hot dogs, $1 chips, and $3 water or fountain drinks. Go to tigers.com/3-on-3 for tickets. One away from Matt Vierling in a 1-1 ball game. Texas scored 2 pitches in. Tigers scored in the second. Vierling with a bullet to left. Hot hitting continues for Matt Vierling. What a welcome sight he has been since back from the back spasm injury.
Yeah, Vierling's really been putting together some solid at-bats, and it starts with shortening up that swing, and he's had some back issues, and you can just see in his swing, he's not trying to do too much in that swing. Just very short and direct to the baseball.
Here's Spencer Torkelson, who struck out looking in the first. Three strikeouts so far tonight for Andrew Heaney. Texas has struck out 6 times. Big hole on the right side for Torkelson. Tried to go that way and fouled it back. And it's interesting because you had talked about it at the very beginning of our broadcast about Torkelson needing to go the other way. Hasn't done it very often. And Texas is kind of reading from the same menu that you are. They've noticed it too.
Well, you can tell that he's late on the inside fastball because he's thinking about it. He wants to stay on the baseball, but Heaney's been so effective on the inside part of the plate that he's actually beating Torkelson inside with that fastball.
Another one fouled back. You see how far Simeon is close to second base. Massive hole on the right side, especially with Nathaniel Lowe keeping Matt Vierling on. Foul back. It's an area that probably doesn't get nearly enough coverage. The fact that more and more hits are being collected by batters to the right side, but especially because there is no shift and because the first basemen are holding men on.
Well, there's a lot of left-handed hitters that are happy.
Really happy.
They don't have the shift anymore.
That's inside, and it's 3-2.
And again, Heaney won't give in here. He's going to throw that 92 mile per hour fastball up and in.
Ross Torkelson, 2 men aboard for Detroit. The door is open for Andy Ibanez.
Could be the right spot at the right time. Ibanez seeing the ball well, and you can see Heaney kind of fighting himself with his command. Tigers can continue to get runners on base, but had a trouble delivering that big blow. See if Ibanez right here can get it done.
A first pitch strike to Andy Ibanez, who struck out swinging in the first.
Yeah, he threw him a really good slider down and in. He just swung right over the top of it.
Ibanez with a blast. Deep left center field. That ball is out of here! A 3-run jack! And Detroit is in front here in Texas.
It seems to never fail. When you go back to play your old team, the focus is just different. And with Matt Vierling putting together a solid at-bat, and then Torkelson walking on a 3-2 pitch out of the zone. It's Ibanez. Looking heater. It's center cut. Yakum. He crushes this ball to left center field for a 3-run jam.
Fifth home run of the season for Andy Ibanez. He had 8 total in his 2 years here in Texas. He burns the Rangers, and now Baez with a pop-up behind second base for Seager. The first out for Detroit in the third comes 4 batters in.
And that just has to feel good to this young man, Ibanez. Again, he's been fighting to keep getting opportunities. And he gets it ball right down Broadway, right down the middle. And he absolutely crushes this ball to left center field. Almost knocked that wall down.
Eric Haas did the same on his first triple of the year in the second, and he scored the Tigers' first run. 2 outs here in the third. That's up high, and it's 1-1. Zach Short started the inning with a fly ball to left, then a Vierling single, Torkelson walk, and then the Ibanez home run that traveled 427 feet. 1-2 now to Haas.
Those are the big blows that the Tigers have to continue to create. Getting guys on base, but delivering a big punch, and that was a big one there by Ibanez.
Haas with a pop fly to right. Adolis Garcia has it, but the Tigers take the lead The ex-Ranger comes back to Texas and says, giddy up. A 3-run jam. 4-1 Detroit. Signed as a free agent with the Tigers. He's one of the greatest catchers, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. And 5 seasons as a Tiger. They love him here in Texas, and for good reason, because he's one of the greatest Rangers of all time, but he can share the love with both the English D and the Texas Rangers as well, and he joins us here in the booth. Ivan, great to see you again. We had you last year in Detroit, so it's an honor for you to join us again. You look great. How's your family doing? All right?
Family's doing good. Been here for a couple of days. Going back home on Thursday. I got a good news from my son today. They call him back to the big league today. So
beautiful.
He's going to let me know and see if he's going to probably start one of the games in the weekend. He's with Atlanta Braves. So
nice.
So I'm very happy for that. So I'm waiting for that news and jump in another plane and go see him pitch.
How much harder is that for you to watch than you to play when you watch your son play?
Very hard. Very hard, obviously, because me as a catcher, he is as a pitcher. What I would like to do is just be behind the plate for him when he pitch. To be honest. And but no, we talk a lot. We have a lot of conversations together about the game, about situations, and how to approach hitters with men in scoring positions and things like that. So that's the only thing I can do for him. Very nervous, obviously, when I'm on the bleachers. It will be funny. I would love you to see me when he pitch. I cannot sit on the chair. I gotta walk around because I get nervous. But anyway, I'm enjoying every time he's pitch either in the big leagues or AAA. It's always nice to see him still pitching at 31 years old.
Yeah, just so proud of him, too. I watched him as a little kid around the clubhouse, running around Derek, always around the clubhouse, always around the guys on the field with us. So when you're behind the plate or when you're watching him, do you want to call pitches? You're like, man, you should throw a slider here. Or,
well, actually, me and my wife, we always sitting obviously together, and I told my wife, this is the pitch that he needs to throw at this situation right now. And I don't miss, to be honest with you. I just told my wife sometimes, hey, he needs to throw a fastball open in so he can open the outside part. And he throws fastball in. And then I said to my wife, he's going to go with the splitter or with the slider away for strikeout. And he looking at me sometimes like, how you know all that? I said, well, you played 25 years that position. I think you know a little bit about that. But yeah, it's see him since 1 year old here at with the Rangers and in the old ballpark. It's hard to believe that this is the third ballpark that we have in this area, and having him around, having him watching, jagging balls with the players, and see Bobby Witt Jr. that he was also here at the time. Jeff Russell's kids, see all of them in the big league right now is cool to see.
Amazing.
Well, how about for me, Pudge? I got a chance. I grew up in Texarkana, Texas. You were a star here in Texas for me, so I get drafted by the Rangers. My first call-up, local. I go deep, right, to right field. Who's the first guy at the top step?
Me?
Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. I'm thinking to myself, a moment. Are you kidding me? Somebody that I idolize, somebody that I watch, is now at the top of the step.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Bobby, look,
I was screaming at the dugout, run!
And look at that right there, man.
It was great. You know me. I always pull for everybody, all my teammates, and I was very funny, very happy in the clubhouse and in the dugout. A lot of you prefer to see me playing on the field than having a day off, because I was all over the place when I'm having my days off. But it's nice just to play with you and to play with a bunch of great guys, play with Miggy Cabrera, knowing that he's going to retire this year. But I see him since day one when he came up as a Florida Marlins and did what he did in the big league, play for 20 plus years and 3,008 couple of triple crown multiple times, amazing career.
You mentioned you played with him in two different spots. Did you have any inkling of how good he could have been or he was going to be? And if so,
well, I knew since day one, I saw in spring training that he's going to be a great player. His swing, his inside-out swing, the way they hit the ball the other way for power. I mean, at the time, he was a 5-2 player. At that age, it was basically when he came up to spring training. In 03, he just turned 19 years old at the time, and then moving forward during the season, we call him up. But a lot of people don't know that Miggy played in 3 different positions during that year. And most of his career, he was a third baseman, left field, first base. And we talked about that earlier, about that's a difficult thing to do. Just work in 3 different positions and then come to the plate and hit 4 hits and 30 and 40 home runs and 120 plus RBI. That's talent there.
Well, and the famous at bat, of course, against Roger Clemens in the World Series. You're on first base, and he does what he does as well as anybody from the right side ever.
I love him. I love that. I still remember like today. He threw that fastball away to intimidate him, and I think Roger did a mistake with him. I was on first base. I remember I was in first base, and I was firing him up from first base. Now you got him. And then he knew that he's going to throw that fastball because the next pitch he threw a splitter in the dirt, and I knew as soon as Clement threw that split finger on the dirt, I said Miggy is on. Miggy is going to wait for that fastball up and away, and that was the pitch that you saw on that replay. Fastball up and away, hit it for.
It's amazing you remember those pitches.
Oh,
this
I remember like today.
Really.
I remember. I got good memory, and
you
that's
do.
the one thing. That's the one thing that I have really good.
That hasn't left you.
Hey,
That's
Pudge,
good.
I don't know if we're going to be able to get into it, well, because we're not. But guys, don't go away. Pudge is going to tell you guys about the adjustment that Miggy made, or he helped Miggy make, and hit it, right?
Absolutely.
Stick around.
4-1 Detroit. Rodriguez in Miami.
Well, take me back to 2003 when you guys won the World Series. The emotion, the excitement. You have a great memory, so tell me, what do you remember about that?
That's a totally team effort there since day one in spring training. We came with a goal in spring training to take one game at a time. Basically, we didn't have a good first half of the season. I think we finished 10 games under 500 in the first half, and then we start pick things up in the second half. But we never lost faith. We always fight. We always, show up to the ballpark and do the best that we can. We start with Jeff Thorborg. Then from that, Jack McKeon came in, and he really let us play the game of baseball. He was a fun manager to play with. Guy that smoked cigars everywhere, but he was very, very fun and very professional. And but basically that was the key. I think with the job the whole starting pitchers did, the Brad Penny, the Beckett, the Willis, all those guys did great. And to be honest with you, one of the reasons that we win the World Series was because we didn't get hurt. A lot of the guys stay healthy. All the starting pitcher all year on stay healthy. And when you have a starting pitcher that didn't get hurt for a year and give you 32 starts, you're going to have a lot of chances to win.
All right, here comes Miguel Cabrera with one out, and it was a special ceremony before the game today, and I know it meant an awful lot to you, for you to be part of presenting him with a going-away gift, if you will, since this is the last series he'll ever play against the Rangers in this building.
Yeah, it was a great. Very happy to see him. Haven't seen him in a long time. Obviously, great guy, great person. Obviously, those pictures are pictures that we play together and against when I play in my career. But the question that I asked him, what are you going to do with that saddle? He said, I told him, do you have horses? He said, no, I don't have any. I'm like, okay, well, what are you going to do with it? He said, I totally don't know what I'm going to do, with it. But it was great. It was great. It was good. And good to see him. Great career.
Yeah.
And first ballot Hall of Fame for me, for sure.
How about this?
All right, Bubby, let's get into when you first met Miguel Cabrera. You said that he choked up on the bat.
Right.
I
think he did it right. I think he's doing it today.
Is he choked up or no?
I think he's doing
Let's
it
see.
today. Well, it's hard to see.
He's still got it down.
But
So
yeah,
what adjustment did you tell him that he had to make?
That was when he came up. I was watching Miguel in the batting cage, and I was watching him, with hitting the balls on the tee, and I was seeing Miguel Cabrera choking up the bat, and I was looking at doing it. I thought it was part of his routine, but when he started swinging with two hands, still have this inch,
choked up
on the bat. I say, hold on 1 second, Ricky, what you doing? Are you doing any routine? Say, no, that's the way I hit. I like you to. You 6'4", 220 pounds. Okay, I want you to do this for me. Bring your hands all the way into the knob, and let's work on this and see if you like it. So he start doing the same, and he immediately start feeling the whip of the swing, like he feels completely different. So we start doing that, and then we threw the underneath soft top thing that we do. Same thing, he feels the same. So we went out batting practice. He was hitting balls out of the ballpark everywhere. So game start, and first time up, hit a double. So he ended up 4 for 4 that day, hitting with all the way to the knob, and that's his career.
Wow. The rest is history.
The rest is history.
Wow.
Well, that's so crazy,
That's
though,
great
because
stuff.
when we talk about that stuff, like, Miggy, those are small adjustments that hitters make. Like, I got a chance to play with Pudge, obviously, a couple times, Texas and
He did
Detroit.
it too.
That was one of the adjustments that he wanted me to make.
did it. I told
He
him
wanted
to
me to
break
get
too.
down on the knob a little bit more because I was kind of up above the handle.
Yeah.
And so he just told me, no, get it almost where your peak is kind of off, and you create more bat whip through the zone.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, I started hitting more balls out of the ballpark.
You stay more inside out. You don't pull the ball as much when you put your hands. Basically, when you play the bottom of the knob, it's less.
I used to joke with Pudge all the time. I said, Bubba, why does the ball seem to stop? And then you get to take your swing, and it's moving when we hit it. He has such good rhythm and timing where he could hit the ball out to the right field like he was a left-handed hitter. But it almost seemed like the ball stopped. Was it all about, because I know you came up with Rudy Jaramillo, and y'all talked so much and watch you work on getting that front foot down early.
Yeah, early.
Is that something that you even talk with you when you talk to young hitters?
Absolutely. I always teach like what Rudy always teach, the 60-40 balance, which is the 60% in your back leg, and then 40, and then when the ball's coming towards you, you just turn your hips and your weight into the baseball and stay back and be on time. Hitting is not looking, for me, the way it works for me. I didn't look for any pitch. I didn't look for any. I just looking for a good. I just looking for strike and put the ball in play. Not looking for inside, outside, anyone to strike. So I just look for the baseball, be on time, and put the ball in play.
Well, I don't know why anyone would listen to you. I mean, you only won 7 Silver Sluggers. So
Yeah, right.
I'm confused at that. So it makes a ton of sense. And obviously you did it, and you did it with great success, so people would follow you. But I would guess it takes a certain player for you to convince to do that, because that's not going to work for everybody's swing, right?
Well, to convince players is on them, obviously. For me, I'm not a person to tell you got to do it like this and you got to do it. No, I tell you and I explain you what's worked for me, what worked for me. Everything works different from different people, right?
Sure.
From different baseball players. But for me, hitting that way works for me because it keeping me more inside out instead of pull the ball. I always say the 320 to those 374 sign right center is better than hit 220 to left field. You
Yes.
know, and for,
Nice play by Seager to end the inning. Tigers strand 2. When we come back, Ivan Rodriguez answers how the catching position has evolved. When we come back. Think of the greatest catchers ever to play in Major League Baseball. 2 names come to mind. Johnny Bench
And Ivan Rodriguez, 13 times he won the Gold Glove, 7 times he was a Silver Slugger. He was a 14-time All-Star, and he was the most valuable player in 1999. And he's with us here in Texas after presenting Miguel Cabrera a saddle, some pictures, and a nice check, too, to his foundation.
Nice check.
Yeah, so we thank you very much. This one smoked to deep right center field. Lots of carry in that one. That one's out of
so what I
here.
told you,
Good pasó. He just told me that.
I just told him that.
You just told me that Garcia, when he goes to the batter's box, he's trying to hit basically his name up there on the scoreboard of Globe Life here, and that's exactly what he does. And you said, well, if he wants to be a pull hitter, then yeah, he'll hit 25 home runs. But if you want to be consistent 280, 300, and drive it 100, you got to go this way. How about this swing here, Pudge?
Exactly, perfect swing. Obviously, let the ball travel all the way. It was an inside out. That was middle in, and he stayed really good inside out with his swing and able to hit it opposite field. And we just talking about that. The importance of now a lot of players likes to pull the ball more, and it's okay. I don't have any problems with that. But I think, for me, more production is that kind of swing that Garcia just did, because if you're gonna hit a home run, if you're gonna have a good contact in the bat, the ball is gonna go no matter what, because the ball is gonna carry it, the ball is gonna go. That was 425 feet. Apple inside out, inside out. So I think the more that the hitters wait and stay behind the ball and not be afraid to get jammed, which is we call stay inside. If the bat broke, it broke. You got 12 dozens of bat in the clubhouse that you're gonna use, right? You're gonna use. So to me, you got more chances to put the ball in play, get basic, stay behind the ball, get jammed, and then when the pitcher made a mistake, that's the one that you elevate, and they want just Garcia.
But I feel like that's what most of these hitters do, like both righties and lefties on this Texas Rangers offense, and it's one of the most potent offenses in all baseball. They all seem to be able to do that. Is that something that they teach?
Yeah,
is that the philosophy?
Yeah, they're teaching that. Obviously, baseball is a little different than the game that we play in our days. Obviously, they want them to elevate the ball more. I think baseball is going more to the power numbers now, which is we can see it. As right now we can see how many home runs all over Major League it's been hit a lot of home runs, and I think they're probably don't get me wrong, I think they're on pace to break the record.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of home runs is happening. It's because obviously they're teaching this launch angle swing, and obviously pitchers throwing faster. Pitchers are throwing 98, 100, 101, but it's 100-mile-an-hour four-seam. So it's not with movement.
Yeah, four-seam will stay straight.
Yeah,
so
it's just straight.
you can time that.
They're going to be ready for it. You can throw 103, 104, but it's a four-seam. Always the hitter, if the hitter is on time, he's going to make contact.
We got to switch gears, right? We got to switch gears because we got to get to the catching side. You're the best. One of the best to ever do it. You've seen the rule changes with, now they're stealing more bases. Guys are running more. You're a guy that, pride yourself on shutting down the running game. How has that changed?
It changed the game a lot. Obviously, I like the 20-second clock rule. We average on the 3-hour games nowadays, and I think that to me is perfect for the fans, and I think for the players. I think the players can stay more fresh during the whole year, playing 3-hour games. I think that for me is great. I think the Major League Baseball doing a good job on that. I think that the only thing that they need to probably change a little bit is just the amount of chances the pitcher are throwing to first base. You're only allowed to throw once or twice, and if you go third time, you gotta throw him out.
Right.
Because if it's not, it's gonna be another base, and that's why this kid from the Oakland A's has almost 80
stolen bases. Yeah.
Because he knows where his time, right? Where his time to go. Because what he does is he take a big lead and make the pitcher throw over first base.
Yeah,
and then the second time,
Esteury Ruiz leads all of baseball.
And then the second time, he got another extra lead. And with the speed that he has, it's impossible to throw him out. The only thing I think they need to make better is, I know it's a 20-second pitch clock, but the holding game is very important late in the game in situations.
So it's really not about throwing the ball over there. It's about being able to change your timing to home plate so you can hold them.
I mean, if I'm a catcher, right?
You are a catcher.
Okay. No, if I'm a catcher now, I should say that. My bad. So if I'm catching right now, I really be anxious, or maybe my focus are not going to be the way that I would like to behind the plate, because I'm gonna be anxious. I'm gonna be too quick because I only have 20 seconds with a guy in first base, and I only have a quick pitch or maybe 1 or 2 seconds to hold the ball and then go, instead of being late innings, holding the ball, step up, or doing all these things. That to me is the only thing that maybe one of these years, I hope they can change that part.
I think we all absolutely loved seeing those highlights of you as a Tiger. 2006, 2012. What do we think happened? What is the biggest regret you have from especially 2006, when it appeared you guys were the best team in baseball?
For me, I know offensively I have a great year for the Marlins, but for me it was the whole pitching staff, the job that we all did together. Because I did my part. Their ERA from the year before to the year that we won in 2003, they went down a point. All of them went down a point with me behind the plate, and that to me makes me feel really good, because my job is there. So my study, all this stuff, before the game works for these young talented pitchers, and that to me, I take more pride doing that than I can sit in the video room, do my reports, showing it to the pitching coach. The pitching coach sit with me and all that, and then we have a great game plan and end out, winning ball games.
Well, you made this broadcast a winner. Thanks for your time, man. It's great to see you.
Sir.
Good luck to your son. You're going to be headed to Atlanta. And his
Pop.
number is retired here in Texas, and for great reason. He looks great, feels great, and what a moment that was before the game today. 2 Hall of Fame. Again, our thanks to Ivan Rodriguez for joining us here in the booth. Man, it was a pleasure. It's always great to hear him tell stories and help us in our broadcast and see the friendship that he and Craig Monroe still share. We've moved to the top of the 5th. Spencer Torkelson leads things off. Diving backhanded stab by Josh Young, and he steals away extra bases from Spencer Torkelson to start the 5th.
Well, it's an absolute missile off the bat of Spencer Torkelson. But Young does a fabulous job of reacting to that ball, reading the bat angle. That's the only way he's able to make that play to cut this ball off. Nice backhand, slides, gets up, and throws a missile across the diamond to get Torkelson at first.
So 1 away for Andy Ibanez. Right now, the offensive hero for the Tigers. The ex-Ranger came back to burn his old club with a 3-run homer in the 3rd. That made it 4-1 Detroit, and now it's 4-2. after the Adolis Garcia leadoff homer in the 4th for Texas. 2 runs for Texas, both on solo jams. Semien to start the night, and then Garcia in the 4th. Detroit scored 1 in the 2nd, and then the 3 in the 3rd, thanks to Ibanez's 5th homer of the year.
Always love the conversation that I have with Pudge. We talk so much about hitting. And then I love the fact you just get a chance to talk about some catching, how great he was on both sides of the ball. As Ibanez.
Ibanez strikes out swinging. Yeah, you're almost sad that story time is over.
Right.
I wanted to sit with my legs crossed and just look up at you guys and hear the stories continue.
Well, for me, just such an inspiration. So just getting a chance to watch him from afar. You know, coming up in high school, and he's already a star for the Texas Rangers. Then I get drafted by him and go to spring training and get to work with him as a young kid. Some of the things he talked about, trying to be a complete hitter, right center, he can stay inside the ball. All the things that I talk about here on the broadcast, hopefully these young kids are listening. They can pick up something to help them get to the big league as well.
Tigers are out in order. 8 pitches gets Andrew Heaney through the 5th. It's a 4-2 Tigers lead on Valley Sports.
Guys look like they know how to party a little bit. Wall side windows pitching change. Well, Tyler Alexander is in to work the 5th as the bullpen day continues. Boyd started, lasted 3 hitters, left after 15 pitches, and the solo homer from Marcus Semien. Will Vest came in. He was pretty darn good as well, but he had to leave earlier than expected. And Mason Eglert, yeoman's work through 2 1/3. Tigers lead at 4-2, bottom of 5. Alexander getting Leody Taveras, Marcus Semien, and Corey Seager. It's 1-1 to Leody Taveras, who popped up to short his first time up.
Well, you're going to see a 91 mile per hour fastball for Semien from Tyler Alexander. He'll work both sides of the plate. He'll cut that fastball in on the hands of the right-handed hitters. And he's got an effective changeup that he'll go to, especially if he falls behind in the count. He has that confidence to throw that pitch.
Strike 3 called. Taveras will take a turn and head toward the Texas dugout after watching the 3rd strike go by. Down to Trevor Thompson. Trev.
Yes, Shep, we've got tonight's Comerica Bank game summary, and you just said it. Matthew Boyd went 2/3 of an inning, 15 pitches, gave up a home run to Semien to start the game, and then left. He's gone with left elbow discomfort. Now, Will Vest came in for him. He lasted 17 pitches, had 3 strikeouts while he was on the mound, but left with right knee discomfort. We'll obviously have to catch up with Agent to get an update as far as he can give us at this point. I imagine they'll be further evaluated, and we'll learn more over the next 24 hours as to what they will do with those gentlemen on the mound.
And to reiterate what Trevor talked about earlier in our broadcast, Matt Manning will be back tomorrow, and he will start game 2 of this 4-game series here in Texas. Semien is homered and struck out. A pop up behind the mound. Tough play. They're not going to get him.
Semien has been doing an excellent job of just being the tone setter for this offense. It was a leadoff home run in the 1st inning, and now he gets rewarded for a high hopper right over the mound. And you can see right here, there's some miscommunication there between the infielders. I think the infielders thought that Tyler Alexander was going to field that baseball. He just wasn't able to get Semien at first.
Seager really aggressive as usual. 0-1. He struck out swinging in the 1st and walked in the 3rd. And it hit him.
There's a 2-seam fastball here that just gets away from Tyler Alexander. And he prides himself on throwing strikes. He's a strike thrower, but this one, he uncorks. And it just drills Seager right there in the ribs.
Have to be careful. Here's Josh Young.
Yeah, this bat's got some major pop in it. He's got 15 home runs already. And this is just his rookie season. And he's showing off his power to all fields.
He has been susceptible to the strikeout, especially as of late. He has struck out twice here tonight and has punched out in 15 of his last 23 plate appearances. One and one to him now.
Well, you can see him trying to be patient. He's gotten himself in a little bit of trouble chasing pitches out of the zone during this stretch where he's been swinging and missing. But he's got to just, I don't want him to get back to that today against the Tigers. But from an offensive standpoint, from a hitting standpoint, you can see when hitters start to chase, they start to, he's at 15 home runs. There's no question he now wants 20. So now you start to think about that 20 opposed to just being where your feet are and just trying to hit the ball hard.
Didn't like that call. It's 2-2. A strikeout, an infield single, a hit batter. And the Rangers are threatening here in the fifth with one away.
Tyler Alexander will also elevate that fastball, or he'll try to cut that fastball in on his hands.
Foul back.
He's got a quick bat. No way he was supposed to foul that pitch up. You can tell in right field, Ibanez is playing in. Now he's moved over towards the line and in.
Just missed away.
And I just love how the outfield will stay in sync. With Drilling in center, you can see he's shifted to right center field. He's playing the opposite way. Haas in left has moved over as well. Ibanez is up and in. This turf plays a lot faster.
Foul back.
So on ground balls, you're going to have to be, as an outfielder, you're going to have to still be aggressive with your legs getting to the baseball. But once you get close to it, you have to slow yourself down because that ball's going to get on you in a hurry. Talking with George Lombard today, and he said that would be one of the challenges for the outfield, is to make sure they slow themselves down to get to that baseball.
Chopper to third. And Schoop lets it go foul.
To be able to field it and then be able to make a really good throw.
Eight pitches so far in this battle between Alexander and Josh Young.
Yeah, started him out with a cutter. You see him try to go to that changeup, but has really been forcing fastballs and a ton of cutters, trying to induce some weak contact, relying on movement.
Tough to put him away.
Yeah, hitters start to get more comfortable the more pitches they see. Young has seen all of the pitches in Tyler Alexander's arsenal, so it'll be about location here.
Got him looking.
Solid at bat there by Josh Young. And his head is about location. There's a two-seam fastball, maybe off the plate away. But that's just painting. It's an excellent job there by framing that pitch by Jake Rogers.
Some call it stealing a strike. Jake Rogers says it's just good pitch framing. And here's Adolis Garcia. A strikeout and a 423-foot blast. His 18th of the year. 2 away in the 5th. And he went too far, 0-1.
That's where Alexander has to live, especially early in the count. Crowding with that cut fastball. Get him looking inside, and then he can go down and away with that changeup.
Late, and it's 0-2. In the air, center field. Vierling is back. He's at the track. He's got it. Tyler Alexander avoids any problems. He strands 2 and keeps the lead at 2. Our teammate Ken Daniels. Strong man. Tigers lead it 4-2. We're into the 6th. Eric Haas, Jonathan Schoop, and Miguel Cabrera for Detroit. Haas fouls it away. It's 1-1. Haas tripled and scored in the 2nd. That tied it at 1. And then flew out to right his last time out. Punches one to shallow right center field. Adolis Garcia gives way to Leody Taveras. The center fielder retires. Eric Haas is 1 away. And before Jonathan Schoop steps in, a message from our friends at MGM Grand Detroit.
Go grand at the destination that elevates every experience. It's a good time for a grand time at MGM Grand Detroit.
It was a grand at bat for Jonathan Schoop in the 2nd when he tied this game up. Haas had tripled with 1 out, and then Schoop with a team at bat, fly ball to left. A sacrifice fly to tie it at 1. Detroit then got the 3-run homer from Andy Ibanez in the 3rd. They lead it 4-2. Schoop grounded to 2nd his last time up.
Yeah, I've noticed that Schoop continues to make adjustments in his swing. Seeing him now starting to choke up a little bit. Try to have more bat control. Want to control the barrel.
Brock Burke is one of 4 lefties in the Texas bullpen, Warren. They've got pretty good balance, but if there's a weakness for Texas, that's it. The bullpen. Schoop strikes out, and they're 2 away.
Yeah, Ken, Haney's one of those left-handed pitchers we talked about earlier that really loves that elevated fastball, especially with 2 strikes. And look at this 4-seamer here, right at the top of the strike zone. And Schoop swings right through it.
Cabrera, first pitch swinging, looping it to center, and that drops in front of Taveras. Second hit of the night for Miguel Cabrera, and the 3rd time he's on board.
Well, Taveras reads the swing here. Miggy takes a big swing, but he catches it off the end of the bat. And it fools Taveras a little bit, and he didn't get his best jump. Now, he's got tremendous speed, a tremendous amount of speed, but just not able to come in and catch this ball as Miggy throws the tongue out saying, that's a knock. Just keep getting hits.
Well, he's used to that. 3,121 now in his career. And the 3rd time you see there on the Bally Bar, 3rd game he's reached safely 3 times. And the 2nd time he's done it against Texas.
Smiling, talking to the dugout of the Rangers. I think the part I'm going to miss about watching Miguel Cabrera play is how much fun he has. I get a chance to see the big kid in him.
Rogers a little tardy, 1-2. Great storytelling with you and Ivan Rodriguez about Miguel Cabrera. the relationship that those two especially have, but really the three of you. Rogers with a blast. Deep left field. Get out of here. That ball is gone. A two-run shot for Rogers to extend the Tigers' lead.
Love the reaction of the dugout there when Jake Rogers goes Yakum way back as he stands up on Heaney, and he knows that ball is way back to left field. Just great rhythm, good timing, catching that ball way out in front, and he just whips that bat through the zone.
That home run has chased Texas starter Andrew Heaney. A 3-run homer from Ibanez in the third, a 2-run blast by Rogers in the sixth. It's 6-2.
Baseball can be crazy, can it? Zach Short stands in here with 2 outs, 2 runs in the sixth. That's right. Don't adjust your screen. It is 6-2 Detroit. And Brock Burke has relieved Andrew Heaney. The lefty facing Zach Short with 2 away here in the sixth.
Yeah, Burke's had a really effective fastball. He's been holding hitters to a 183 batting average, but it's been mostly because of the location of it. He's been able to get that ball in on the right-hander's hands, and then he goes away with this sweeping slider. Well, they're starting to call it a sweeper.
Right.
Yep, it has slider action.
On the inside rail to keep Short there, it's 3-1. It's nuts, isn't it? Texas is a team that is 47-30. They are clear by 5.5 in the American League West. And long way to go, yes. But the Tigers, you have to love the grit and the fight that this team is providing so far through 5.5.
Especially with the adversity that they've already dealt with earlier. When Matthew Boyd goes down, then Welves goes down, and now you're relying on the bullpen to go out and get outs.
Short down the left field line.
Stay fair.
A hook foul. You're right about that. I mean, you could easily slouch and feel sorry for yourselves. Here we go again. Instead, they bow up.
That's exactly what they did. Offense said, all right, well, we've got to put our pitchers on our backs, and we've got to get some runs. Well, that's exactly what they're doing, putting together some good at-bats against Heaney.
Broke his bat, a looper to left. And the inning is over. But Jake Rogers, back in Texas, country strong, 403 feet away for home run number 10. Pull out those pistols. 6-2 Tigers. Play to AAA, and he is a guy who absolutely crushed AA pitching. He's the Tigers' #1 prospect. He's climbed all the way to number 43 in all of baseball. And I know Tigers fans can't wait to watch him put on the Old English D at Comerica Park. May have to wait a little bit, but these numbers, Simo, speak volumes on why Tigers fans are excited.
Well, he's just 21 years old, one of the younger players in Erie when he was in AA. Now he's getting a chance to go to AAA where that bat's still going to play. Now he will have some challenges. I think in AA pitchers, you're going to see more prospects, more velo, maybe better stuff. But when you get up to AAA, you're going to see guys really know how to pitch. They know how to read swings. He's going to have to deal with that. They will try to exploit his weaknesses, which when you look at his body of work in AA, not many weaknesses in his swing. Drives the ball to all field with power.
Josh Lowe driving the ball to the opposite field for his second hit of the night. A.J. Hinch admitted, look, there's no more challenges for Cole Keith at AA. So the promotion is warranted. But he still has a lot of work to do on his defense and his strength.
Well, there's no question he's got some room to grow on the defensive side. But he's been putting in the work. And just like hitting, as you continue to work at it, you just continue to elevate and just get better. But his bat plays, I believe, right now at the major league level. He's got that kind of skill set, that bat-to-ball skill set that it takes, I believe, to be a productive hitter at the major league level.
Big tip of the cap to Gabe Alvarez, the manager at AA, and what he's been able to do and the type of positions that he's put Colt Keith in to succeed.
Well, I think that's so important.
This could be 2. Short on the turn. You bet it is. 2 away.
It's not just Colt Keith that people are excited about. There are others. Here's the top 10 in the Tigers organization. Jace Young, whose brother is starring for Texas at third base tonight. Jackson Jobe is back on the bump after having some back issues. Wilmer Flores, Ty Madden continue to excel. Justin Henry Malloy down in Toledo had a little bit of a bump, but now seems to be back in order. And there's going to be some new faces on that list sometime soon, because the Major League Baseball draft is next month, and the Tigers have the 3rd overall pick, and they will get a good one.
Tigers are also really high on Parker Meadows, solid center fielder, left-handed bat with power, runs like the wind blows.
And he's been really good as of late.
So guys are starting to make adjustments, starting to figure it out in the minor leagues to where they can be productive when they do get that call.
Yeah, this team, Scott Harris and his team, Scott Harris, the president of the baseball office, is trying their best to make sure they're getting more and more talent at the minor league level, groom them, and then get them up to the big leagues. But they don't want to bring them up to the big leagues until they're ready. Have their failures at the minor league level. Swung on and missed. And down goes Mitch Garver for the 3rd time tonight on a swinging strike.
Plan today. Matt Vierling leads off the Tigers' 7th, and then it'll be Spencer Torkelson and Andy Ibanez in a 6-2 Tigers lead. Vierling is 1 for 3. He singled and scored back in the 3rd.
I mean, speaking of flexing, the Tigers have been flexing here at Globe Life tonight.
Second hit of the night for Matt Vierling. Leads off the 7th the right way. Time for StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud. What do you got on Spencer Torkelson?
Well, here's what I got, Jeff. I've got Spencer Torkelson struggling a little bit here in the month of June. Take a look at May. Here's the biggest difference. Look at the direction of his hits. He's using the entire field. Well, look at June here where he's hitting 184. Just 2 hits the opposite way. He's got to get back to using the entire field. That's when he's going to get the most out of himself.
Would love for it to start right now and get some add-on runs for the Tigers, who lead by 4.
Well, he's going to have to continue to push the ball out over the plate if he's going to get back to driving that ball to right center field. Seems like the pitchers that he's been facing here lately really believes that they can crowd him inside and get him to chase that ball in off the plate. Like to see him continue to push that ball out over the plate and not necessarily think right field. Think to the big part of the field. Think center field. Think left center, right center. That keeps him square and keeps him staying inside the baseball.
Continues to pull it foul.
And see, that's going around the baseball there. That's going out and around. When he's really good, he's staying inside. He's attacking that ball from the inside part of the baseball. Got to get back to that.
Last time up, remember, Josh Young robbed him of extra bases down the third base line. Beautiful backhand play and threw him out. That's up high. 2-2 to Torkelson. Now a full count. Swung on and missed. Torkelson goes down swinging. Second time he struck out tonight, 1 away.
Well, I've just been watching Torkelson all day, and you can tell that he's really trying to keep that front shoulder and that front hip closed. On this fastball running up and away, you can see the front hip comes out of there. You can look at the side swing there. That front hip and front shoulder flies open, which makes you fly off the baseball. But the fact that he's thinking about it, he's thinking himself through it, and he keeps trying to remind himself. And if you continue to do that, he'll start to be more consistent with staying close.
Tigers need him to gain some consistency, though. This offense is going to have a really hard time if it doesn't include Spencer Torkelson.
Yeah, he's a big part of this offense, especially since they moved him up to that 2-hole, where for a period of time he was absolutely raking. But teams have started to make an adjustment against him.
Vierling on the run, and Ibanez delivers down the right field line. Vierling all the way to third. Tigers have him at the corners with only one away here in the 7th.
Just a really nice piece of hitting here. You talk about staying close with Torque, and Ibanez here does exactly that. That fastball has great arm side run from a left-handed pitcher. That ball meaning that it's going to run away from you. But he stays on that ball and basically hits it where it's pitched. Nice direction there. And that ball jumps off his bat over 101, as you said, Chef. It's nice.
It's a really good piece of hit.
And you know what? I'm starting to see what the Tigers are seeing in Ibanez with his bat-to-ball skill.
I agree with you. He surprised me, I can tell you that. It's a pleasant one, though, as Javier Baez stands in and takes one high.
And Baez continue to tinker with his swing. Some days you're seeing him where he feels comfortable and he hit it with better rhythm and time. He's got that real high leg kick. Other times he's trying to keep that front foot close to the ground where he can get that front foot down in time.
He's ahead in the count 2-0.
This would be a really good time for him here with Burks throwing well over 95, 96, 97 mile per hour fastball to try to get there early and ambush him here in this good hitters count.
Foul back. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Boy, it's been a strange season for Javier Baez. First 11 games, struggling. Next 27, red hot. Then 17, ice cold. Next 14, red hot again in the last 3. He's stumbling in an 0 for 11 slump before the 3 at-bats here tonight. So it's 0 for 14 to extend it.
Well, when you have a high leg kick and you have a lot of movement in your swing, and he's got a very violent swing, you're going to have to ride the roller coaster with him, because when your timing is off, you don't pick up the baseball well, you chase pitches out of the strike zone. And that's what we've been seeing here in this stretch from Javier Baez. And that's why he continues to try to make those small adjustments so he can be more consistent.
3-2 to him. We were talking about the Tigers offense needing Spencer Torkelson to produce. You could duplicate that thought and that saying with Javier Baez.
Want to keep the ball off the ground here.
Fly ball right field. Garcia backs up. Vierling will tag. No play at the plate. It's a sacrifice fly for Javier Baez, and the Tigers are up 5.
Again, we saw Jonathan Schoop here with the runner at third base, less than 2 out. And we call these team at bats. These are the ones that impress me the most, especially when guys shorten up and make the necessary adjustment to get the job done. And that's exactly what Baez does here with 2 strikes. He shortens up, and he's just trying to get something up that he can lift to the outfield. That ball's running in on his hands, but look how he pulls the hands inside to get enough of the barrel on that baseball to get it deep enough to right field to score Vierling from first base. From third base.
Really good stuff, Sino. Baez delivering his team-leading 38th RBI. Here's Eric Haas. Tripled and scored in the second. Now 1 for 3. Swung on and missed. Last series against Minnesota, Detroit limited to 7 runs in the 3-game set. They have scored that many in the first of 4 against Texas here tonight.
It's amazing what a change of environment will do for you.
It's crazy. just when you think, I have so many conversations with friends and family, and so many of us are definitive in our beliefs about what they've seen. And really, at the end, of a good conversation, a good debate. You can look at each other and say, we really just don't know.
you really don't.
Haas pops it up. Low in play, and the inning is over. Tigers do add another. They're up 7-2, and we will stretch in Texas. Brought to you by Fight.
Book and today's same game parlay looked like this. The 3 legs where we're looking for 9 total runs. We were also looking for Matt Vierling to get a hit. He's got a couple. But we're also looking for 6 strikeouts from Matthew Boyd. He didn't last long enough. He punched out 2 before he left after 15 pitches on what would have been a plus 523 wager today, Matt.
Got the first 2, unfortunate on the last one with Matthew Boyd, and unfortunate that Ezekiel Duran leads off the 7th with a head-first sliding double.
Well, George Lombard was out here early with Eric Haas and all the outfielders working on playing the ball off the wall here. This ball's hit off the wall, but look at Eric Haas plays it perfectly off the wall, gets himself in a throwing position where he can make an accurate throw. Duran runs well, beats him there, but just textbook playing that ball off the wall.
This happened to Detroit in the 2nd when Nathaniel Lowe led off the inning with a double, and then Detroit was able to get 3 consecutive strikeouts. The number 9 hitter, Leody Taveras, who is 0 for 2. A pop-up and a strikeout.
This Rangers offense will continue to play the game. They'll be trying to move Taveras, will be trying to move Duran to third base, so he'll be looking to hit the ball the other way. There's a big hole over there with Short playing him well up the middle. And you can see that hole right there. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to go in that direction.
Fouled away again. This is the 3rd inning of work for Tyler Alexander. Texas's bullpen stays busy. Alexander gets the job done against Taveras. 1 away. Alexander is the 4th pitcher used by A.J. Hinch tonight. Didn't mean to, but Matthew Boyd was injured after facing 3 batters. He had elbow discomfort. Will Vest came in, was really good, but lasted just 4 because of right knee discomfort. And then Mason Englert was solid through 2 1/3. Simeon pops it up. Short is out, and he makes the grab. That wasn't easy, especially with Ibanez charging hard. 2 away.
You've got Ibanez playing in and over towards the line in right field. This ball here gets in on the hands, and it's not hit deep. Short's doing exactly what you're supposed to do. He keeps going out. Now, Ibanez makes a mistake to just keep coming in. He's yelling at the same time. They cannot hear each other with this crowd. In a perfect world, you'd like to see Ibanez come in and be able to make that play. But because Short never got to a point where his back was to the outfielder, he had to keep coming. We're always taught, if you can see the numbers, that means that the infielder is camped under the baseball. If they're not, you keep coming.
1-1 to Corey Seager, who has struck out, walked, and was hit by a pitch.
A hot shot. Baez takes care of Seager. What a heck of a job by Tyler Alexander, huh? He strands the leadoff double and 9 pitches. The Rangers are done. We're through 7. Miguel Cabrera. Daunting task always here in Texas, how good the Rangers are. But you know what? Detroit has really elevated their play. Strong performance so far by the Tigers.
They hope to keep it rolling here in the top of the 8th against Yuri Rodriguez.
Yeah, and Rodriguez got a 3-pitch mix. Fastball, upper 90s, a wicked slider, and a changeup mix. Look for him to throw that fastball mostly away to both lefties and righties. He tries to put you away. The left-handers, he'll throw that changeup, and the righties, he'll go to that slider.
He'll face a pinch hitter in Zach McKinstry. He will bat for Jonathan Schoop to lead off the 8th, and then it'll be Cabrera and Rogers for Detroit.
Rodriguez can be erratic in the strike zone. Tigers will have to be patient here.
Quickly 0-2 to Zach McKinstry. One for 3 with a double and a couple of runs driven in yesterday in the loss to Minnesota. Foul back.
AJ was asked today what he likes about McKinstry. And for him, it's simple. Puts together a quality at bat. Seems to always be in control of his at bat. And he just doesn't give in, just finds a way to foul off some good pitches. And loved his versatility. The fact that he can play the infield, been playing a lot of the outfield lately.
Been pretty solid in right field overall. Strikes out here to start the 8th. Now a message from your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
Returning Easy Plan trade-in lessees can lease a Ford F-150 for $479 a month for 24 months, with only $479 cash due at signing at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealer.
Here's Miguel Cabrera. He's had himself a nice night. A couple of singles, a walk, and a run scored for Cabrera. To right field. Garcia on the move. He retires Cabrera for the second out in the 8th. And that'll bring up Jake Rogers, who gave Detroit a little breathing room, in the 6th.
Yeah, got himself a cookie. And he chomps all over this thing to left field.
You and your sweet tooth.
Guns are blazing to the boys in the dugout. Jake Rogers, way back.
From Canyon, Texas. How good did that feel, huh?
You know, he's got tons of people in the stands, family, teammates, ex-teammates, childhood friends, living out the dream that they all wanted to live out, and they get a chance to watch their brother Jake do it big here in Texas.
Leads the team in home runs with 10.
Started really coming to his own, though. He understands the balls that he can hit hard. And if you notice and you watch his swing, fastballs down and in, middle end to him, he has really been jumping all over those pitches.
Yep.
So I'm surprised that he gets that many pitches inside. You would think that the pitchers would get the memo and they would start to go away.
To center field on a line for a base hit.
Now, the home run is special. Like, you want to be able to hit the baseball out in front and hit it out of the ballpark. But these swings right here from Jake Rogers, these are the ones that I really like. Because it would have been easy for him to go to the batter's box and try to lift and separate. That ball's running away from him. He crushes that ball right back up the middle. Stay hot.
Two catchers for the Tigers, although Haas is playing left field. Haas with a triple, Rogers with a homer and a single. It's been a good night for those two tag team backstops. One-turn left fielder here on this Monday night in Texas. Zach Short is 0 for 3. One-on-one duel. Another lefty up. It's Cody Bradford.
How about the job, though, that Zach Short has done since getting recalled? He was supposed to be on that shuttle up and down.
That's right.
Well, you come here, you perform, showing off his versatility, playing center, plays second, plays short.
Plays third.
Plays some third base, and all of a sudden, Shorty's not going anywhere.
Accepts the role that he's been given.
And he's starting to excel at it. Like, you know, you love putting him in any position, and you feel like he's going to play it at a high level.
Sure. I think the word we're looking for is trust.
Yes.
You trust him when you put him in the lineup.
And he's gotten better in the batter's box. He's not a guy now that's, you know, he doesn't chase. He gets better pitches to hit.
Showed some pop.
He's definitely got some pop. But now that he controls his zone a lot better, we're starting to see more of that pop and the ball jumping off his bat. So the process is working. Guys developing and getting better.
Pops it up to right field for Garcia. A running catch made to end the Tigers' eighth. Detroit is in front, 7-2, and Jason Foley will get the eighth. Tigers bullpen, we know it's been the strength of this team all season long, but they've needed 4 pitchers to combine on 3 strikeouts and get this, just 1 free pass. That took place in the third. Injuries to Matthew Boyd and Will Vest have prompted the need to make it a bullpen day for the Tigers. And how good was Tyler Alexander? 3 innings of scoreless ball, allowed just 3 hits, struck out 4, did not walk a man, and sets it up nicely for Jason Foley here in the 8th in a Wallside Windows pitching change. His 34th appearance, and he has been dynamite for the most part.
Yeah, he's been very reliable. That 98 mile per hour 2-seam fastball, producing tons of ground balls, weak outs. Used the word trust earlier with putting Zach Short in a different position. Well, I like trust here at the back end of the Tigers bullpen, giving that ball to Jason Foley.
Foley gets the 3, 4, and 5 hitters of the Texas order, led by Josh Young. At 98 missed. Here's the changes for the Tigers. Jake Marisnick is in for defensive purposes in center. That forces Matt Vierling to right, and Zach McKinstry stays in after pinch hitting for Jonathan Scope. He takes his place at third base. Down goes Young swinging. 4 strikeouts by Josh Young tonight. 1 away in the Texas 8th.
Yeah, Young's had a tough night, but it's been because of the effectiveness of the Tigers pitching. And you talk about nasty. That 98 mile per hour 2-seamer there was straight up wicked.
Here's Adolis Garcia.
He's done some damage with his 18th home run of the year. It was a solo blast in the 4th. He has also struck out and flied to center. Inside 2-0.
This is when Foley's 2-seamer, that sinking fastball, is so effective because you can take aggressive, you can take advantage of an aggressive hitter.
Baez on a slide and a beautiful play to retire Garcia.
Stop it, just making it look easy. Here's that 98 mile per hour sinking fastball. And Baez makes this play look easy. Slides, gets up, cuts that ball off, spins, and a nice accurate throw over there to Torkelson. Just love the way he transfers that ball, how quickly he transfers that ball out of the glove to his hand and gets rid of it.
Talking to second base umpire Chris Siegel about that play and smiling. Yeah. I would too. 0-2 to Nathaniel Lowe, who's 2 for 3. in the dirt, and it's 1-2.
Well, earlier we talked about Lowe being able to lead the major leagues in opposite field extra base hits. And the Tigers, from a defensive standpoint, do an excellent job of positioning their outfielders. And as Marisnick comes in center field, you can see that the outfield is shifted towards left field. Guys are shading the opposite way. Eric Kossin left, you can see he's up and in, taking away that little bleeding base hit the opposite way off of a left-hander's bat.
Strike 3 called, down goes Lowe. Jason Foley's a bad man. 13 pitches, and he retires the Rangers in order. It does help that he's got some good defense behind him, but Foley took care of 2 of the Rangers hitters. Under pregame total was 9. That would have been the time to cash in, because it is 9 right now. Live total is 9.5. Tigers batting in the 9th. So 9s are wild, I guess. Matt Vierling, Spencer Torkelson, and the Tigers up 7-2. Vierling has been in the middle of it. A couple of singles and a couple of runs scored for him tonight. Tigers have out-hit the Rangers 9-7. Impressive. To left field. Is sinking, and that'll drop in front of Duran. Vierling getting greedy. He wants 2. Goes around the tag, and he's in there. He can hit, and he can swim on dirt, I guess, a little bit, huh?
Yeah, that was an excellent athletic move there by Vierling at second base. Being greedy here, and you can see Duran throws a bullet, but he throws it to the opposite side. Simeon tries to get around, but look at this wicked slide. Goes right over him, and then able to reach back with the left hand. Oh, what a slide there.
Boy, I bet you he was great at tag in the backyard, wasn't he, when he was a kid?
I mean, he went over the tag. He was thinking double out of the box.
3rd hit of the night for Matt Vierling. Torkelson swings and misses, and it's 1-1. Good lead for Vierling at second base, too. 2-1. 3-hit night for Vierling. 7th time he's done that as a Tiger.
I mean, he's been so good since coming back off the IL. Just approaches foul line to foul line.
In there for strike 2 to even things against Torkelson.
I remember talking with him early in the season. He was talking about how he felt like he was missing some of those pitches that were on the inner half, and he was trying to find the balance between, you know, hitting for more power or being just a opposite field hitter. Well, I think he's kind of found that middle ground.
Ground ball to 3rd. Josh Young will retire Torkelson for the 2nd time tonight.
Well, one of the things that the Tigers loved when they acquired Matt Vierling was this speed, the athleticism. One of the most athletic guys on the team. And right away, he's thinking, too, now that's not a normal double. He made that a double with the hustle and this slide. Whoop! Now you see me, now you don't.
That's great. Sound effects have been added only because Matt Vierling's trickery at second base, and Texas goes back to their bullpen. Tigers in front 7-2. They want more here in the 9th. A leadoff double by Matt Vierling. Now 1 away for Jake Marisnick, standing in for the first time tonight. Came in as a defensive replacement in the 8th and batting in the spot once occupied by Andy Ibanez.
Well, he's going to face Cody Bradford here. And again, 2-seam fastball, 4-seam fastball.
That's popped up, foul territory.
and out of play.
Bradford also has got a really good curveball, slider changeup. Throws lots of changeups to the right-handed hitter. He mostly stays away, works that outside part of the plate.
One and two to Marisnick. Tyler Holton continues to warm for Detroit. He pitched yesterday against Minnesota, was lights out in 1 1/3 scoreless ball.
Let's take a look at Gary Jones here, the third base coach. I mean, he is so far out of the coach's box. And I asked him about this. I said, why are you so far away from the coach's box? He said, I want to be able to see the whole field. I want to make sure that the hitter can see me.
Marisnick in the air to left field. He's closer to the on-deck circle than he is the coach's box.
Really
There's two away.
And you'll see him do that with the runner at second base, running score position. That's what he does. He gets way down the line in third base side. They haven't said anything, so I guess it's fair game.
I'll tell you what, one of the more enjoyable times, you come out here early, you and I do this quite a bit. Gary Jones, Alfredo Amezaga, I mean, I got a 20-minute education on fielding ground balls earlier today by those two men.
Yeah, they do. They get out here early, they work.
It was awesome. I mean, I was just soaking it in. It was fantastic. At the different positions, how you're supposed to play it, what's important, the myths about fielding grounders, that everyth's got to be fielded in the middle of your body. Not so. Everything's got to be fielded by two hands. Not so. It was great. Baez cues it foul.
I mean, as outfielders, we talk so much about that. You know, you're taught as a kid to catch the ball up high with two hands with your right arm. If you're a right-handed pitcher or thrower, you have the glove on the left side, right? And so you catch it with two hands. Well, you limit yourself in your range by catching the ball with two hands.
High and tight to Baez, who drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the 7th. That made it 7-2. That's where we stand now. For Texas in the 9th,
they'll have Jonah Heim, Mitch Garver, and Ezekiel Duran due up.
Wondering what A.J. Hinch is thinking here, though, with Jason Foley. Does he send him back out for the 9th? Goes back to the bullpen.
Although he's had Tyler Holton warming.
Yeah.
You want to get a guy up and warm him without using him. Not so many things going through that man's head. He's a lot of steps ahead of us.
I don't think he thought he would have to use as many arms as he has today trying to win this ball game.
Used 6 out of the bullpen yesterday against Minnesota, 4 the day before. It has been a taxing last few days for the Tigers bullpen. But to their credit, look at what they've done tonight. Been pretty awesome.
They simply have been.
They've been the star of the night. Baez fouls it back.
That's when you know your timing is off, when you're going through a little bit of a rut, when you're missing pitches that you normally drive.
Long at bat and a battle between Bradford and Baez. And Bradford wins it, striking him out.
We head to the bottom of the 9th. Tyler Holton will trot into the ball game and try and secure the Tigers win.
Mick and Dan, it's been a good night for a lot of Tigers. Let's hope it concludes on the positive side with Tyler Holton out there against the number 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the Texas order, led by Jonah Heim. Tyler Holton has been so good. That's where he ranks among rookies. ERA, WHIP, opposing batting average, all second among rookie relievers. Zach McKinstry retires Jonah Heim to start the 9th.
Well, you just like that Holton comes in and he just attacks. Here's a left-hander that's not overpowering by no stretch of the imagination, but he throws every pitch with conviction and a whole lot of trust.
First pitch to Mitch Garver misses. It's 1-0. Garver has struck out 3 times and fouls that one away. A catcher with Minnesota. Texas acquired him in the same idea that they were going to use him behind the plate, but he's had all kinds of problems throwing. Arm injuries, so he's been the designated hitter. Technically, the catchers carry 3, or the Rangers carry 3 catchers. Heim, Garver, and Sam Huff. Now 2-2.
Because Holton's got really good stuff. There's no question. He's got a good changeup, good curveball, good cutter. But I want you to notice this little start and stop in his delivery. Hitting is so much about rhythm and timing. But because he has that little start and stop in there, he disrupts the hitter's timing and makes him that much more effective.
Garver is aboard with 1 away here in the 9th.
Just take a look at his delivery here. He'll lift the leg, then a little pause there, and then he tries to get some extension to make the pitch there.
Ground ball, it hits the bag at third. Now there are 2 men aboard.
Well, that's just good living there. That ball hit hard off the bag. But look at McKinnon's reaction, how he chomps on this ball, lays out for it, and get up to make sure that he was back at third base to cover it. And he's smiling as he's going back.
Here's Leody Taveras. I'll pop up in a couple of strikeouts for the number 9 hitter in the Rangers order. Moved his feet, it's 1-1. Wave and a miss, it's 1-2. Low 2-2. Just in case Jose Cisnero wants. Fouled away, barely. Strike 3 call, 2 away.
Well, take a look at Jake Rogers there, where he puts the glove. He wanted to dump it in, but that two-seamer runs right out on the outside part of the plate, painted to get the strikeout.
The 16th of the night for Detroit pitching, a season high. One more to get in the form of Marcus Semien.
Tigers pitching doing an excellent job tonight of just keeping this potent offense at bay.
Amazing. You lose your starter, a few batters in, and then the first guy out of the bullpen, a few batters in, and yet you boast a season high strikeouts combined with 16 so far. Here's the 1-1 to Semien. Make it 1-2.
Well, this Texas team just come off a tough series, facing tough pitching in New York, where it just seems like it's just carried over when you can be effective and efficient in the zone and throw all of your pitches to keep them off balance.
Three and two. Just missed, and the bases are loaded.
Well, you just can't count this Rangers offense out.
Here's Chris Fetter to talk things over with Tyler Holton. His bullpen, though, overall has been lights out, and considering how much it's been used, a lot of pitches over the last few days.
Well, I know everybody's wondering, where's this guy right here? Where's Alex Lane, right? Well, he's done a lot of heavy lifting here lately. In the last couple of days, just throwing, 624, 28 pitches, 24. He's due for a day off, and he'll be ready to go, I'm sure, tomorrow.
41 from Englert in 2 1/3. Alexander 40 pitches and 3 scoreless. Lang looking on and hoping that Holton can get Corey Seager to finish off the night.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he's not on the phone himself saying, AJ, I can go if you need me. He has that kind of bulldog mentality.
First pitch swinging. Fly ball left center field. Haas has it. An improbable win in an unexpected bullpen day, limiting the highest scoring team in baseball to just 2 runs. They'll be talking about this one for a while. 7-2. Tigers win the series opener in Texas. Let's send it to Mickey York, standing by at the Figer Law Desk for Tigers Live Post Game. Have some fun, Mick.
In that Tigers clubhouse, although it will be mixed with the news of a couple of pitching injuries. The